Welcome to Flawless Shoes Reviewed. I'm going to compare the Brooks Glycerin Max and Hoka Bondi 9 in this video, two of the most popular Max stack shoes on the market, but they're used for different performance aspects, and I'll also touch on how they influence medical conditions. So starting with the uppers on the shoe, the Bondi 9 has had a big upgrade compared to the Bondi 8. It's got a lot more space in the toe box than it did in the previous model, so it's now a normal width, whereas previously I would have had to get a wide version in the Bondi 8. It also comes in a wide and an extra wide version, so plenty of options out there for those of you with a wider foot. It's got true to size and length, it's got exceptional lockdown in the laces, it's got a relatively flexible heel counter, but due to the lockdown it can cause a little bit of compression on the back of the heel. So if you have any sensitivity in the back of your heel, you may not enjoy it. In contrast to that, in the Glycerin Max, we've got plenty of space in the normal width of the toe box on this, but it doesn't have a wide or an extra wide version on the market yet. It's a true to size and length. It's got a non-gusseted tongue on top that's padded, similar to the padding level that we get in the Bondi 9, and it's got a nice flexible heel counter, so it's got a good lockdown, but it doesn't give you as much compression on the back of the heel that we see in the Bondi 9. Moving down the shoe, we've got the brand new DNA tuned nitrogen infused midsole in the Brooks. So this is one of the most innovative midsoles on the market according to Brooks. They've got large cells at the rear foot, smaller, denser cells at the forefoot. The larger cells have to absorb impact when you initiate contact with the ground. The smaller cells give you more spring effect and help with the propulsion phase of the gait cycle. It's really soft underfoot without being really mushy. It's got really good responsiveness to it, so it feels completely different than other Max stack shoes on the market, so I think Brooks have done a great job with that. In contrast to that, in the Bondi 9, we've got a slightly different type of midsole. We've got the supercritical foam, which is different than the CMEVA foam that we saw in the Bondi 8. So when you're walking around in it, it feels really soft, really cloud-like, really comfortable and designed to be able to stand in it or walk on it for long periods of time. When it comes to running, it's soft, but there is a firm end point, so you don't sink into it. It's not super mushy like we see in the New Balance 1080s, and it's got a little bit of responsiveness to it, but found it hard to pick up the pace in it. So it transitions nicely from back to the front of the shoe at easy pace, but it really struggled to get past that midpoint in the midsole when trying to pick up that pace. Whereas in the Glycerin Max, for a Max stack shoe, you could transition through nicely and get a really good propulsion phase of the gait cycle, and that's really helped by the aggressive forefoot rocker. So you can see the late stage rocker that really tilts upward without causing any extra toe spring. So toe spring is where the toes are held in the extended position in the shoe. That's not the case in the Glycerin Max, so that's why it can be a really good option for metatarsalgia. Whereas in contrast to that, Hoka have always been renowned for having a really good forefoot rocker, which is present in the Bondi 9 but has a little bit more toe spring than what we get in the Glycerin, so not as good for forefoot conditions. However, it's got adequate padding in there and it's relatively stiff in the forefoot, and we've got some good stiffness in the Glycerin Max in the forefoot as well. So then when we think about the weight and the specs of the shoe, so they're very similar in terms of weight. They both come in around 297 grams for a size 9 men's US. The Bondi 9 has a 5mm heel drop with 43 in the rear foot, 38 in the forefoot, and then the Glycerin Max has a little bit higher stack and has a 6mm drop with 45 in the rear foot, 39 in the forefoot. So loads of padding underneath your feet in both shoes. So they're both Max cushion shoes. They can both be used for long periods of time, whether that's standing, walking or running. Brilliant for easy runs, long runs, recovery runs. However, when it comes to more performance-based activities, you get a bit more responsiveness in the Glycerin Max than we do in the Bondi 9. If you've got any questions on either shoe, leave them in the comment section below. Happy to get back to you with any queries. Otherwise, you can pick the shoes up in the links in the description. Like and share and subscribing to the channel is always appreciated. Thank you for watching.